So my name is Guus. I'll just explain. I explained where I work. InuitArtPortal is a non-commercial initiative for me, sharing my interest in Inuit art and sharing it to more platforms, more people. And somewhere in there, the project Public Inuit Art arose with a lot of items on public display in free areas all over the world. And after that, I'm going to focus on Floyd's work. And I'll explain more about that after we do the introduction. I welcome everybody. Maybe Ed can say something, explain who it is, and then everybody can say the name and what the interest is, please.
Okay, so here in sunny Toronto, this is Ed Drass. I work at Gallery Arcturus, and we've had a long relationship with Floyd. We have quite a few works on display, thanks to the gentleman sitting next to me who has an even longer connection with Mr. Kuptana. This is J.P. Albert, or Jean-Paul Albert.
Hi, yes. Yeah, I first met Floyd when he first came to Toronto in '95. Dave Rubin, his cousin, had gone to Ottawa for an Inuit art festival that the Ottawa government put up. I think they had 300 or 500 Inuits there. And Floyd came back with them. And Dave asked me to look after him for a couple of days because he had never been in a big city. And 25 years later, I was still trying to guide him, but there's no guiding art.
Yep.
That's about it.
That's about it. Thanks, JP. Martha?
Martha Cerny. I'm curator and director of Museum Cerny Contemporary Circumpolar Art in Bern, Switzerland. Yeah, we've been collecting Floyd's works for quite a while, and we try to get them out to the public. There's one piece now on exhibition in Zürich at the North American Native Museum till the 17th. And we just started a shaman exhibition in our temporary space. And we have two works from Floyd that are on exhibition there. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. We will look at them in a little bit later. Thank you. Robert?
And Richard.
And Richard, yes.
We're rather late to the Inuit art game. We only started collecting in 2015, 2016, but one of my very first scores was an extremely early Floyd carving. It's dated 1991. It was collected by a male nurse in Palatuck as he was traveling the medical circuit of the North. I'm primarily interested, though, in Floyd's 2D works, his paintings and collages, and have published several articles on them.
Yeah. Thank you. Robert? You want to introduce yourself? Or?
I ditto what he says.
Okay, good. Understand. Emil? Is it Emil or is it Emil? What is it?
It's Emil.
Emil.
Well, it depends if you're in Europe or not. In Europe, it's Emil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Hungarian citizen as well, so I'm a dual citizen of Canada and Hungary. I'm an art dealer. I've been in the art world for several decades, and I was a member of the International Society of Appraisers as well for a long time. I have been buying and selling art for at least 30 years. And I did a lot of shows in Toronto. So I had a big gallery north of Toronto. It was the largest gallery actually north of the city. And we did major art shows for a lot of prominent artists. And I was involved originally with some First Nations work from Arthur Schilling and then one of his brothers, Paul. And about 5 years ago now, I met a gentleman who became friends with Floyd You guys probably know him. I think JP would know him. His name is Shalom. And I really liked the work, so I decided to buy, the nicer pieces, I thought, paintings. And then he had some sculptures for sale at an art auction in Toronto called First Arts, and I ended up buying the ballroom dancer there. One of his more prominent sculptures that was on the cover of Inuit Art Quarterly. But my main objective is I love his work, and I love the brand. So one of the things I find with art is, to build the artist brand, you need to kind of love the work and promote it. So if you go on my website, you'll see a very nice display of his art, and I priced it pretty high because I don't want to sell it right now, and I just want him to be, looked at upon. I think he's so unique, and everything's so special. Last thing I want to do is to give away art, and I'd rather promote him. So my main objective is to continually support, promote him, his work, his exposure, his brand, his awareness. And I'm happy you're doing this, because I think he is a unique person. I mean, clearly, if you look at the work, you can immediately tell it's his.
Yeah.
If you see it.
That's right.
My biggest concern is that there are some fakes that do come up at auction sometimes, and so I've been trying to comment on those to the auction houses, and fortunately they seem to be on top of it now. They're starting to understand how you can identify the real paintings from the others.
And you're talking now to some paintings that you might think are not real.
Yeah, because when you look at his signature and the work, I think there's a number of telltale signs that you can look at to see whether it's genuine or not.
Yeah.
And I try my best to, if I see something that I don't think is genuine, I'll point it out to the auction houses.
Okay.
I make a point of that.
Could I ask about that? Because at the end, he was so drunk, he couldn't do straight lines. And all of a sudden, there are all of these late paintings that have very crisp signatures. What's your view on that?
Well, actually, that's not quite true, because I have many videotapes of him painting towards the end of his life. There's actually videos I have, and he was actually very consistent with his signature. A lot of pieces. Sure, yeah, there were people can be drinking or under the influence, but it wasn't as haphazard as you may think. He was quite consistent with his signature even at the end.
Okay. Thanks, Emil. I'd like to try and finish the introduction round, which we're starting. It's an interesting topic. Don't know if we're gonna dive in there today, but it's definitely interesting. I keep talking and chatting with Ed and Aaron Boyd too about all the paintings that come for auction. So let's keep that in mind as a topic.
Sure.
Shelley, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Shelley. Pardon me. I'm from Vancouver, and I'm an Inuit art enthusiast. And I've been fortunate enough to be that way for a very long time. I had an older brother. I had an older brother who was stationed with the RCMP in Fort Liard and Tuktoyaktuk, and he was 12 years older than me. So I was the only kid in school who was getting mounted wolverines and beautiful, beautiful art pieces for birthday and Christmas presents. And I thank him so much for instilling that love and appreciation of the art form. And as you can see, mostly I collect textiles, but I'm open to learning and hearing about Inuit art in all its forms. I appreciate all of it.
Okay.
Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. Gloria, do you want to say something? Gloria is sharing in the chat. I guess the audio is not working. Can you read the chat? Gloria Allen from Northern Ontario, general interest. Happy to sit in the back row and soak all of this in. Okay, thank you very much, Gloria. I will then do another short introduction and just start with the slides that I have. I prepared a number of slides because I thought it might be more visually attractive than scrolling over the website that we created. So in, I think it was November or December, we launched a website on the works for Floyd Kuptana, floydkuptana.ca, I must say, and we can look at it briefly. I will share my screen, and then today the focus is going to be on the works that were in exhibitions or in galleries or permanently for a longer time, and maybe we have time for the collections that are around worldwide. So it is a long. I did some research and tried to find a lot of stuff that I like to point out how I found it and what I found. But we also need input from the earliest days, because there were some sources that are wonderful, but we need more info on those. So if you are you okay? I'm going to try and share my screen and we start.
Sounds good.
Yes?
Perfect.
Let's try that. I won't be able to see comments, I think, so please just shout or interrupt if you want to. Can you see a slide here?
Looks good.
Yep, looks good.
Let's go. Let me go to the website first to just point out that we have more pages. We have a blog where we have the latest info on the information. Of course, this is there. We have also points, topics on what is being sold right now or has been sold. So that's the blog. We have a section about his life and a very extensive already page on his sculptures, where we list sculptures and describe the sculptures. So the latest edition is works from actually, yeah, so it's a bit slow. This was shared with me from a personal collection from Simon Griffith from the Aboriginal Art, Inuit.net.
Nice.
And then they look great. It's wonderful.
Nice.
Great. And this is the page that we are going to look at today. I will, this is the front page, and we have a section called In Exhibitions and in Collections, and there are some collections out there. So I will try and go to the slides now and go from there. Hopefully that works. Can you still see the screens? No, it's currently black.
Loading, yeah.
Nice.
There it is. Yes, first one.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the program that we have planned for this. We obviously did the welcome. We're going to look at the current exhibitions first. There are three current exhibitions with pieces of Floyd. And then we're going to move over to Ed. And Martha will hopefully tell something about the NONAM and the Museum Cerny Shaman exhibition. The Gallery Arcturus. Ed will do an overview of that. Then I'll go through the timeline, starting from 1993. Yeah, and if the time permits, we can have a look at the other things. So that's one, and I'm starting at the exhibition. Do you see yourselves here in this? Is that in the screen? No, I don't think so.
On the side. It's the sidebar. Yeah.
So there is there's a stall in the Winnipeg Art Gallery on exhibition.
Wow.
It's also prolonged the exhibition till March 17th, which is the same time the NONAM has been extended.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the piece that's in the collection from the Winnipeg Art Gallery, and they are not showing the picture, unfortunately, on their catalog. So I tried to be very nice and found images of it, and I'm presenting all the credits. I hope that's fine with them. We'll find out. This is a great piece, and I was actually able to find more of that image of that sculpture, but I'll tell more about that later.
Oh, we can't see it. We'll have to.
Can't see it?
I think I have a copy of it that Darlene sent to me once. They only have the one piece. It's amazing.
Yes, they only have a one piece, but I was able to recover photos from actually. Oh, I have to find out which one it was. It's either from. Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that later. So we only have this picture of that until recently. Want to go to
I don't know how to get rid of the sidebar because it's blocking the picture.
Is it blocking the picture?
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah, you can minimize the sidebar, I think, then you don't see the people here. So this is, Martha, can you tell something about this one?
Right. This is a 20th anniversary, this exhibition. We worked with the North American Native Museum 20 years ago when they changed their name from Indiana Museum to North American Native Museum and moved to a new location and included Inuit art in their collection. So they borrowed from us then, and then they were interested to see how our collection has changed. We used to be Cerny Inuit Collection. Now we're Museum Cerny Contemporary Circumpolar Art, and very soon we're just going to be Museum Contemporary Circumpolar Art for very different reasons. But we want to be a bit more inclusive because we are dealing with other parts of the Arctic, not just Canada now. That's where it started, and it has taken us on a very interesting journey. So the director saw this totem of, but maybe JP can say a little bit more about it, and fell in love with it and said that has to go into the exhibition. And the other piece, of course, is Sedna lamenting for the loss of the sea ice. And because Sedna is like the red thread going through the entire exhibition, we definitely had to include this piece of Floyd's. Because the exhibition is on the 7 islands, talking about hunting, Sedna, the spiritual world, where the totem is allocated at the spiritual world, then community, the change, environment, and future. So, of course, Sedna lamenting about the loss of the sea ice is in the environmental section. And JP, I'd be really interested, and Ed, if you would have any comments about these pieces. We got them from McLeod Gallery in Toronto.
I really wish I could see them. Unfortunately, I forgot my glasses. And
oh, my dear. Well,
the totem pole that you're talking about, I remember.
Yeah, I call it my Picasso.
Oh, yeah,
beautiful.
Well, I sold quite a few pieces to Americans, and they all referred to Floyd's stuff as Picasso-ish.
Okay.
He was. I don't know if you've seen Guernica.
Yep.
I think I will, Gus. I hope, yeah. No, but
yeah, that's the piece we have here at the gallery, or it's after Guernica, and
yeah, of course, it's not.
But that's the title we go with. Floyd, of course, didn't often title pieces himself. I believe that's agreed.
No, he didn't. No. It's just
right.
he had seen the piece. I had a picture of Guernica on my table under glass, and every time he was had just enough alcohol, he would ask me about it. And this went on for 20 years. And then the last time he asked me about it, he came to the studio. He had had a few drinks. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, but he had had a few drinks. And normally I didn't let him near the stones if he had too much to drink. But I figured it's going to cost me $300 anyway, because that's what he wanted. So I figured, here's the stone, you know, go in the back. I left him there for a couple hours. I came out. And it was.
This is the piece Granny got here.
Okay.
It's the top part, and the top part is the greatest thing I ever seen him carve. And it's so meaningful to me because you know, the base of it is, that's if he wouldn't have been, if the Inuits and the native people of Canada wouldn't have been subjugated by residential schools, their art would have been much different. Like Floyd's, the bottom part of that carving, that's what Floyd's like mellow carvings are. The top part is what he suffered in the schools. It came out in that carving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So Sedna lamenting about the loss of the ice is Sedna, who's turned herself into, it looks like partially a seal. The propeller is, to me, is on the bow with Kuptana's name on the bow, is what I say. I may be wrong. The figure is rowing backwards, and the head is walrus, but tattooed on one side with alabaster eyes, that, you know, his typical mask, you know, one side one way and the other side the other way. And the hair is quite short but nicely bundled. And the figure in the boat is a dancing figure with a human face looking straight on and a bear face looking upwards. Also with the hair. And then there's a sail in there, also in the boat as well. Yeah.
And the figure in the boat has a little bib, I guess?
Yes. Yeah.
The bib.
Yeah.
The bib. Yeah.
That's typical Floyd. That's a great piece. You got that from McLeod?
Yes. And we got, I'm pretty sure we got the totem from him, and a mask as well from him too. Yeah.
What year was that? Is there a year on that?
I can tell you the year that we got it.
Yeah.
My memory is not. I'll take a look at, if I can get my database open. I can.
Well, I can.
He normally put the
take
year
a look
when on carving.
Your pieces are here. Your pieces are here too. Here are them all. I have the information about this one here.
2007 is the totem.
Yeah.
And I have 2007 now. I'm not quite sure he made them then, but that's when we bought them.
Yeah.
And and the shaman's mask in the middle is permanently in the permanent part of the museum's exhibition. And and that was also, this is an interesting story. When Switzerland was getting observer status for the Arctic Council, they made an installation with Swiss Camp, and they were trying to connect the people of the Arctic with the people of Switzerland. And there is a tradition in Switzerland called Chagata, and it's the same tradition that the Inuit, I don't know if they're still doing it, but would put on, you know, horrible masks, take the old soot from the kudlig, paint people's faces with the kudlig, and they're trying to scare out winter, and then using the whip to wake up spring. So there's some really similar masks, you know, but more hairy and made of wood and not stone. So we had one of the masks, Chagata mask, with this particular mask on the installation to make that connection with the Swiss people and traditions. And then the other mask on the right was in an exhibition, as Guus has noted, Polar 2018, which was an international meeting of researchers. And the researcher, Connie Steffen, who had Swiss Camp on Greenland, he was very interested in having an exhibition of the artwork, because we're very much into showing how the indigenous peoples of the Arctic are mirroring the scientists' findings through their artwork. And you're able to reach a public much more emotionally on a much more understandable level than with the researchers' graphs and things. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So now the middle, the spirit being with the 3 different faces. I even have a mirror on the podest to show the 3rd face, because it's underneath the chin. And the shaman dancing of the moon, I just took a better picture of that because it will be in the newspaper, because I'll be doing a tour of that exhibition on the 2nd of March here at the museum. So they wanted a picture of one of the pieces, and my daughter, who works with us, said, "Oh, you have to do that one, Shaman Dancing on the Moon." So that'll be published next week. Yeah, in our newspaper.
All right.
Yeah.
That's that one.
Yeah.
We sum up the so you have 6 pieces in total, right? Yeah.
Floyd?
Floyd, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
looks nice.
These ones.
Think so.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, 6, right.
Sorry about for the maybe
Yeah.
it's busy, but these are the ones. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And all bought around the same time. No, 2001 was when we started. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll connect with some of the people related to Maslick McLeod soon, so I can get some more data.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that would be nice.
Nice.
So these were the pieces that are in current exhibitions right now. We start now with an overview of the history, I think, and I think it was logical to give Ed the floor for when Floyd entered their gallery and started doing things. Ed.
All right, so I would defer to the books for a bit of the exact history. There's 3 books that were published by Gallery Arcturus, created by Deborah Harris, who's the curator here. By the way, we may have some people moving in and out. The gallery opens at noon our time, so there may be a bit of background noise. Sorry about that. We're also kind of low tech, so
yeah,
you may notice some glitches. But if there's a moment, I'm going to try and turn the camera around and show you a bit of the work. Actually, see if I can do that now.
Well, Ed, I'm sharing the screen with my presentation, and I have to stop the sharing. Then you can.
Okay, don't do that. Just we'll stick with this plan here. Let's not.
I can show the book if you want me to.
But a painter now lives in the UK, Luke Gilliam. He and other artists frequented a gallery space that Gallery Arcturus and the Foundation for the Study of Objective Art began downtown Toronto in a kind of a bit of a rundown area on Queen Street. And Luke became quite interested in Floyd works, and he curated, along with the other artists, a show which was multi artists, and Floyd pieces were there. And there's Guus has a great video from those days, reminded me of a lot. It was like some shots by yeah, there it is. It even might even work in this format, but I suggest you go take a look, and you'll see how much Luke and other artists were inspired by Floyd's work, and that kept reverberating as we closed that space. It was called Collage, or City Art Gallery, and it was mainly collage, but it was kind of experimental. And then as we consolidated here in our main buildings, which are also in central Toronto, we had Floyd here often. you know, in various states, and you know, he'd want to catch some money or sell a piece, sculptures. And slowly the gallery and individuals here and friends of the gallery acquired pieces. And when Guus first, well, that's a bit later, and his first show, I'm going to actually check Guus's notes to make sure I have the right year. So 2011, we had a smaller show upstairs on our second floor of Floyd's. And then it actually morphed into a more permanent space in our library, which for a while we called the Floyd Kuptana Studio. There were so many pieces in there, and they're still there. They're different ones, but there's still quite a selection of those. And those are either on loan, not from JP, or his or JP's pieces are mostly on here on the main floor. We're surrounded by them right now. And the library, it's a place, often we have students come in and they'll try and come and do work on their computers, and I'll go check on them and forget about it. They're just looking at the plants and looking out the window and looking at the artwork or the art books, and they're just taking a break and taking it all in. And JP started, good number of years ago, bugging me, and then eventually getting through to Deborah that he had this great number of pieces and they really should be on display together. And then COVID happened, and but they actually, Deborah, Harris, and JP came to an agreement that as soon as we possibly could, we would put on a retrospective. And it finally happened, but it didn't happen until a year after Floyd died, approximately. And we had our reception. It was still difficult to hold public events. People weren't that comfortable, but we had a small reception and memorial for Floyd on the 1-year anniversary of his death here in the gallery. And I think it's fairly well documented, but that's where the book started. There's 3 books that Deborah and her assistant Sai Kimura did. And you can see those on our site. You can see them through Guus, through all of Guus's sites. And one is on sculpture, one is on painting, and one is on pastel, because what would happen downstairs in the studio would be that Floyd would come in and suggest, and actually I should keep this shorter, but because it is documented in the books and they can be all read online for free. He would have the other artists sort of have competitions, and they would either paint or collage or pastel very quickly. And I think the deal was that whoever put their signature down first would quote unquote win, and Floyd would conveniently not win and say, oh, well, we have to start again. And they could go for hours. And that morphed into something called Lessons with the Masters, which I can say more of another time. But at this moment, we still have a semi-permanent display, a retrospective of Floyd's work. Deborah has managed to continue to have them fit in. This is a very different and I'm going to say eclectic gallery, in the sense that there's a lot of works by different artists in the different shows. Look, can you see that? Mm-hmm. There's a great shadow right now. I wish we could show it, of a Floyd piece coming, the sun's shining through and it's reflecting on the wall. It's one of the moon dancers. It's pretty magic. And so a lot of artists' work is in here of different media, and Floyd's is interspersed. Sometimes the scarier characters alarm some of the visitors, and others are just fascinated counting the number of faces. And I could go on. I'm going to end it here, unless there's some questions or clarification.
Very good.
Very good, Ed. Yeah, we had the opportunity to visit the gallery last summer, I guess, with Elizabeth in the gallery, and it was amazing to see. We met JP. Yeah, those pieces fit very well there. They're amazing. Thanks for that.
I'll just say, I'll just add that it was Guus asking for the Inuit art map, the public art map, for information that got us connected. And I realized, oh my gosh, we got to document this info. And ironically, we don't have the years, a lot of them. And I'm not in a rush to go lift these up and check, but that's something that we have to add to your documentation.
Yeah.
And that's when Guus started to get really interested, and he's been prodding me to get him info, and ever since.
Yeah. It was great. And yeah, I got interested in the pieces because it's a public gallery and you have so many pieces there and in public display. And I did some exploring. And what I found out, Ed shared information in their archives, and I found stuff in the archives of La Guilde. It's very old. It was named differently then, but this is the summing up from 93 upwards. These are the things that we don't know more about, but it was mentioned in a leaflet from Maslach McLeod that we still have, and it was listing the earliest cases of where pieces were shared. The first one comes up is we don't know actually nothing about it. It's an Inuit pavilion, the government of Canada, where it was done, and I can show you the leaflet that we got it from. It's a two-part leaflet listing the events and the occasions. Also, there's a Rideau Hall thing in Canada, in Ottawa. Well, we don't know what happened there or what was shown. We are very curious to fill in the gaps on these years. But you see here.
In 1993, you're talking about?
Yeah, 1993, exactly.
I believe 1993 was the year Floyd came to the, him and 3 or 4 other Inuit artists were set up at the, end of September? They have the...
Nuit Blanche?
No,
the
CNE.
The CNE, yeah, the CNE.
Yeah.
He was one of the carvers that carved at the CNE for I think 2 or 3 weeks. That was the first time. That's the first time he had come to Toronto.
Okay.
And that was 1993. So if you have pieces from 93, they may have been carved there. I'm not sure.
Yep.
And I think before he came to Toronto, I think most of his pieces were bone, whalebone, and
yeah.
Because there wasn't a lot of soapstone or carving stone in his part of the art.
Yeah.
But Brazilian soapstone was used in the high Arctic as early as 1975.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was one source of soapstone in Cape Dorset, right? Local?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that.
Yeah, where was the Brazilian soapstone used? In the Arctic? What part?
In the West, Abraham Rubin was using it that early.
Yeah. Well, there's Brazilian soapstone in British Columbia.
We have a few pieces of BC.
Well, you have carving stone in British Columbia, but it's not Brazilian. I mean, it's BC.
No, but they call it that. I mean, it's similar to what you get in Brazil, except for from what I understand from Abraham is the Brazilian is better than what you get in BC. Yeah.
It's not as it doesn't crack as much. It's better held together here. But they have some nice stone in BC.
Yeah. The piece that I have that's dated.
That's BC.
The piece that I have that's dated 1991 is in Brazilian soapstone.
I would have to see it, and I'd have to have glasses to do that. So I'm kind of blind right now.
I love it.
We can gladly schedule a repeat or something else to focus on. Already Ed said it might be interesting to follow the track of the materials that were used at some point. Yeah, so it might be a topic for the future. Really.
And you were talking about his signatures. His signatures changed so much from 1995 to 2020. It's unbelievable. in his early pieces, he signed so fine, and the signature is so clear, it's unbelievable. But as he got more into alcohol in his later years, then the signature got bigger and it got a little rougher.
On the stone.
On stone, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so these were the pieces that were probably on display in one of the first exhibitions at McMichael Gallery. These are the ones, the exhibitions that were mentioned in also the archives of La Guilde. I was not able to find any more details yet, but
we have some clarification from Aaron about the painted stone, so we'll get that to you.
Yeah, good, thank you. This is a location where at least Floyd was available, present amongst a lot of other sculptors. We don't know what he did there, but I found this in the archives of Inuit Art Quarterly. Inuit Art Quarterly was a major resource for me. I have my own digital archive for that, and I started searching for that for Floyd at some point for text, and then I realized if I would upload it in, for instance, in Dropbox, where I have it now, it also searches in images, and that turned up a lot of advertisements, which are really nice. I have them in here. So this is the list I got from La Guilde. And this is very nice. They gave that to me. I did some research in their archives, and this is what they came up with. So they had 2 exhibitions, and one in 2001 and one in 2008, I think. So these are the listings that we unfortunately do not know more about. And this was one of the earliest mentions, based on an advertisement in Inuit Art Quarterly in New York, Hastings-on-Hudson. And obviously that's a really nice mask, but not from Floyd, but he was doing it together with David Rubin. And this was also shared with this list. We know what was on there because he shared the list of the pieces that were there. So that's very nice. Now we just need to find the images with it. So that's interesting to see. It's also interesting to see already the difference in price tags. But yeah, 1999, we are here now. 2000, there we found a lot of mentions, but no information. This one is one of the earliest in the McMichael Gallery, mentioned in Inuit Art Quarterly. And actually, I was able to find a couple of pieces through the internet machine, what it called Wayback Machine, to find websites that were not online anymore, but their archives. I was able to find a lot of images from that. And let's see, what's the next one? Yes, that's in there. Let's see if I can briefly go here. So I started to create a document with the parts in there from the McMichael Gallery. First exhibition in 2001, and the other one was, it's showing very slowly, in 2008. We see a father and son. He has several father and son pieces that are very intriguing. A beer shaman, a Floyd, which is named Gov _ mask, which is intriguing. I have to find out where that was. A rape of Sedna is kind of a cruel title, but interesting.
Oh, okay. JP's saying that one piece his sister has.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Okay.
in New Brunswick.
In New Brunswick, yes. I didn't tell her the name of it though.
Okay.
We'll keep it a secret.
Yeah.
What is his JP? What is his sister name? Is that Lucy or?
No, Pauline Leblanc. Pauline Leblanc.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Now, I'm looking at it, but it's so small that I can't tell if it's hers or not. But that was the name that Floyd actually put on that carving. So he did name some carving.
Yeah, there are some nice pieces in there. Sedna with musk ox hair. Here's a piece that somehow is in the development of the Sedna that Martha has. I found also another one. He's holding a kind of a tray here.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The whale shaman, the floating one. And yeah, we were able to find out a lot of listings. He kept adding pieces to the ongoing exhibition in 2001. This is an owl transformation.
Lovely.
Sedna with children. This one is also, I found this one not in the Wayback Machine, but a leaflet is called Consider This, with markings on the left, 3 6s, and on the right, USA on it. Intriguing.
Huh.
That was, oh yeah, there we have the father and son part. And a large piece called Faces. I think the gallery has one in pink similar to that, but this is a different one. Right, Ed?
Yes.
Yeah. In pink, pink
I
stone.
think that's BC steatite.
Yeah, the pink stone is from BC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I found the early mentionings of the pieces that Martha has. The Sedna lamenting the loss of polar ice was listed on the Maslach McLeod site.
Yeah. Yeah.
There first.
Yeah.
And the ones that keep coming back is this one too, Sedna returning from the moon. Also intriguing. And yeah, there are so many nice ones in there. Spirit drummer, the shaman, and the little bear. That's right. Oh, where is my slides? Let's go back to the slides. There we go. So that was interesting to find. Then we go further. This is, I don't know the date of this sculpture, but it was listed also with a gruel titled "The Dead Calling the Dead" in part of the exhibition in Maslach's. A bone, obviously a bone sculpture, and I used some photo tool to make it look better.
Is there a year on that carving?
I'm afraid not. No, this is also from an advertisement in Inuit Art Quarterly. No, nothing more.
Yeah, 2002.
It was in 2002.
You had the piece earlier about the father and the child.
Father and son. Yeah.
Father and son.
Yes.
I believe the first one that McLeod sold of that, he sold to I think he was a dentist in Maine.
Okay.
And he boxed it up and he put bubble wrap around it. And when they flew it to Maine, they didn't put it in a pressurized section of the plane. So all the air came out of the bubble wrap, and it rested in different places. And when the guy opened it up, I believe it was in 17 pieces.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
So that's how you learn not to use bubble wrap to send carvings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So the La Guilde had an exhibition. It was called Canadian Guild of Crafts back then, together with Ruben, both Rubens and Floyd. And we were able to find an ad and a listing of Floyd with prices, but unfortunately not all the sculptures. This must also be a very early one. There was in the newspaper, etc. A spirit one. Must have been one of the oldest I've seen. Yeah. 2004. It was. This one was on the front cover of Slate, and also exhibited in a Maslach McLeod gallery thing, also called Father and
That
Son.
looks like the piece. That looks like the piece that blew up right there.
Uh-huh.
It may not be, but it's. I think it was on the front page of one of McLeod's shows.
Yeah, I think so. You can see here on the right, you see the Slate's kind of magazine.
Yeah, I see it there. Yeah.
Yeah, Slate was a print publication of art shows in Toronto and Montreal.
Yeah, so it was on the front of that. 2006 in Switzerland was an exhibition, also called The Dead Calling the Dead, from the Canadian Arctic Gallery. It was a different gallery than Martha's, but yeah, he had this piece too, and he had an advertisement in the Inuit Art Quarterly. A nice mask. And then we have a couple of series where pieces of Floyd were in traveling exhibitions and also mentioned in the catalog. So this one started at Art Gallery of Hamilton. Yep. 2006 all the way through 2008 with very funny Floyd green part. And this was like a comparison of Sami and Inuit art thing. Yes, very interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. I have that publication. That's interesting.
Yes, I have that too. So that's a very nice book. Very nice book.
Yeah.
There was a different traveling exhibition with one or two pieces by Floyd, or at least one, Starving Bear, but I haven't been able to find an image of that. I don't have the catalog. I couldn't find the catalog of it. So maybe somebody has that. But this was in 5 different places. It started in 2005 and was finally presented in National Gallery of Canada in 2007. The Museum of Inuit Art had at least 2 pieces, I think. I was able to recover some of the images on the old Wayback Machine. So it's a pink fishes one, a musk ox, and the 2-headed shaman. Yes. In 2008, Maslach again. We covered that. I think, yes, that's a repeat. And then it was here again in the Maslach McLeod. Here's Sedna. Your Sedna, I guess, Ed or JP. It was also in the Inuit Art Quarterly in 2008.
Let's see if we can get it. Where is it? Yeah, that's the one that's right behind us.
Yeah, I have to stop sharing to show it. You can hope I can finish this soon. So 2009, La Guilde had an exhibition, and this was the image that they had in front of the page. It's a
Uh,
if this is the right description, it is 72 centimeters high. It must be on a stand, of course, but this is also an amazing one. No year, unfortunately. Very typical. 2010 was the first time your piece, Martha.
Ah, right. That's right. Yeah.
And then again.
Oh, sorry. Just talking about how brittle the stone is.
Yes.
I was placing the figure in the boat, and it just broke in my hand. Oh, it was just terrible. I mean, so and the figure, yeah, has been broken a couple of times, but you can't. I have someone very good here. You can't even see the seam or anything, but it has a metal leg now, so it won't happen again.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah.
People think that stone is indestructible, but it's not.
No.
No.
The only stone that's indestructible is jade. Jade is very hard to break, but any other stone will break. There's fissures in all stone.
Yeah.
Floyd was notorious. Floyd was notorious for using a chisel to carve, and I could tell when the carving was going to break. Two hits before it broke, because of the sound. But he could never understand that sound. He just, I'd say, Floyd, stop, and the piece would be it would be in pieces because he hit it just one time too much, a little too hard.
Yeah.
Emil, you want to say something?
Yeah, in 2008, he was on the cover, one of his sculptures on the cover of Inuit Art Quarterly.
Yes.
And you haven't included this in your timeline. I think it may be nice if you did.
It's not in the timeline because it's not in an exhibition.
I see. Okay.
It is it is in his part of his life.
I see.
So the page, his life, has an overview of all the images that we could find in media and stuff. Yeah.
But at one point it wasn't an exhibition, right? A lot of these sculptures are currently not in exhibitions.
No, that's right. Not anymore.
The studio in Strawn Avenue.
But I'm thinking, it was an important piece of his. So.
Definitely, yes. That's also it is mentioned on the page on his life, which we are still working on.
It was on my phone that got stolen.
I do have an image of the cover of Inuit Art Quarterly if you want me to send it to you right
now. I think we have that. I don't know
if I can do that.
I think we have that. Thank you.
Okay.
We would have, if there is an image of the piece being in an exhibition somewhere, that would be interesting. Very interesting. But we have the Inuit Art Quarterly. So 2012, the Changing Hands, Arts Without Preservation 3 started. It also ran over a couple of years, went in the Museum of Art and Design. I had two pieces, and I was able to recover some images of the different places where it was on exhibition. So this is Chazen Museum of Art in Wisconsin, Madison. And it was also in 2014 in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And then 2014, this one was again exposed close to the
at our museum, right?
Yeah, in your own museum. Then the Monaco Museum, Musée Océanographique.
Right.
Two. Yes.
The director, very interesting. This exhibition was in connection with COP in Paris, and the prince was there at the opening, gave him a tour, and the more interesting was when I gave the director of the museum the tour. He was looking at these pieces, and he was saying, "But this is art." Yeah. It was like, well, yes, this is definitely art, actually. Yeah. Hmm.
Wonderful. 2016, yeah, Swiss camp in Reykjavik also.
Yep.
The pieces traveled all the way.
That was that, yeah, with the in connection with the Chagata masks, the Swiss masks, yeah, in Reykjavik.
Yes.
That was the the Arctic Circle Assembly, where Switzerland was asking for observer status at the Arctic Council. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the Inuit Art Society had a meeting in 2016 where the members of the Inuit Art Society had an exhibition afterwards in the museum, Kenosha Public Museum, and we were able to find at least four pieces in there in the exhibition.
Wow.
Including the father and son one, and a bobbing walrus, and a one that we cannot identify. We haven't seen this one before, unidentified. It's not in the catalog. So yeah, it is a large piece. But
Is it possible that the father and son that Floyd maybe redid it, or
Oh yeah,
could it have been repaired?
He did many pieces.
Okay.
No, he did several.
He did several, yes. Yeah,
Okay,
The first one he did though was for McLeod. That was back in the 90s, late 90s, I think it was.
Okay.
2017 in Zürich. These
Yeah,
are
now, sorry.
okay.
Yeah, now you see the Swiss mask compared to the Floyd. So.
Whoa.
That's the big one.
To the left, yeah.
Oh,
Shaman.
this one I'm talking about. Yeah, she's talking about this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Their lefts are on the other side, that part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
2018. This was, yeah, I guess, also in Swiss camp exhibition in your museum.
At the for museum night, yeah, when we had 800 visitors walking through.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That was a good night, I guess. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Polar 2018, yeah. That was the researchers exhibition conference in 2018. They had researchers from the Arctic and Antarctic. It was a huge thing for a week long. Yeah.
2019. This one was in the exhibition at the Glenbow Museum. Self-portrait with different expressions. This is one in the collection of the Library and Archives of Canada, I think. Also, they don't display the picture here in their catalog. So I'm hoping they don't mind.
That did appear online, though.
Yeah, it did appear online, but still,
yeah.
it's difficult, I think. There is one piece. Oh, I haven't put it in here. No, there's one piece in a Dutch museum. Well, maybe that's for another time. The museum doesn't show the picture because they don't have the rights. They have it in their collection, and they say I can't use a picture of it, but I have an image that the Inuit Art Gallery here in the Netherlands bought it and sold it to the collector that then gave it to the museum. But still, I can't show the picture. I think I'm still waiting for copyright things. But I'd like to discuss that on another time, maybe. When are we allowed to share images, or the rights. What does it go? How does it go for Floyd after his? Nobody changed the status of copyright rights after his death. I guess you have to wait 70 years for sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought with Carfax you can figure that one out about copyrights,
yes.
because it's copyright in Canada actually.
Yeah.
In Switzerland we're not subject to those copyright laws in Canada. So okay. I just remember that advertising in the Inuit Art Quarterly with the image that we had from David Kumaluk, who is long dead. They asked if we had the copyright, so we got the copyright from his grandniece, in Inuit somewhere. Yeah, but that it's different. Different, and it also depends upon if you own the piece yourself or if it still belongs to the artist. Yeah.
Oh, well. These are the first mentions I could find from actually his paintings on the exhibition. This is a Korean Artist Society of Canada. This is 2002. These two pieces, I think they are owned by Aaron. Were on display. Two nice paintings. And last year, there was another one called Woodland on display there. Also, beautiful one.
Great.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was the resource I wanted to mention. I was able to find old pieces. Actually, old pieces of the I haven't added. Yeah, I have added them there. Of the sculpture that was in the WAG, the Winnipeg Art Gallery. I've added these images to the website. So on the sculptures page, you can now see these sculptures. Let's see where they are, not this one. We already had that. There's a section. Oh, sorry about that. I heard that the limit ad for the number of images on a Google site is 10,000 pictures.
Boy.
Yeah. So
wow.
This is
how close are you?
I don't know. So here are the ones that I've been able to find out. High definition images from the Canadian catalog that's offline right now. They're working on a new one.
I think it's from Concordia University, right?
Yes, Concordia, yes. This is a shaman riding a musk ox. But I wanted to go to, here's this piece. And here's the mask.
Yeah.
It's in the Winnipeg Art Gallery. We have a back picture from the back with his signature here and the side view. It's wonderful. 2000, it says. Yeah. And another mask. These are the ones that we were able to retrieve. And actually, this one, I don't have a bigger picture, but that one that's the one I found actually in a lot of auction in the UK last year. I bought it with 26 other sculptures, different things, not Inuit art at all. But and I have that one. I have that one here right now.
Yes.
How wonderful is that? So that was the overview of what we have right now found. And it's very interesting to hear your comments on it. Thank you very much, Martha, to shed some light on your experience with the pieces. Any more things to share, discuss?
Well, thank you, Sherlock, is all I have to say. quite a bit of research, and I'm sure you had such professional help with Ed and JP, so it's just absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's more things to do, more people to connect with.
Yeah, it would be great to fill in the gaps, and with stories like we hear today, we can try and find out more. That's great. Wonderful.
Maybe we can just sign off if I could turn my camera, hopefully use my phone to take some images of the pieces around us.
Yeah, that would be great.
And there's JP. This no, it's okay. The sun is pretty bright, so I don't know. I can't see at the time. Is that coming through?
Yeah, it is, but the sun is bright. Yeah. That's a beautiful one on the moon. Yeah. Oh, that one is also beautiful. So these are all listed also on the website with high resolution pictures in the sculptures page. Oh, actually in the overview of the museum and galleries, yes.
And I'll just take you over to a few more, and we can sign off.
Yeah. Oh my, yes, there they are.
That's apparently petrified wood. So a wink at the viewer, as one of our visitors said.
Also a large one, yeah. And his
Floyd carved this carving after he spoke to his aunt in the Northwest Territories. She told him that the natural freezer that they used underground, the permafrost, was melting so fast that they couldn't keep their meat for a long period of time. So in this carving, he wants people to know that without the animals, the sperm of the humans, the humans are going to die out. And how many species do we lose every day on Earth? And then the next year, we're going to have the idiot down south as the president again. And what's he going to do? It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. JP, on the topic of faces, he has the quality of adding so many faces in. What was his? Why did he do that?
I carved with Dave Rubin for 3 years.
Yes.
And I watched him put multiple faces on, and I asked him how he did it. And he said, look at the stone, and the stone will tell you what it wants to be.
Okay.
Watch me do carvings with multiple faces. And he asked me how I did it. So that's how I explained it to Floyd.
But isn't it also the case that somehow in transformation they have to have two faces, or one is the shaman and the other spirits, or are watching over him?
I think that he has a great ancestry of shamans. Because one of Dave Rubin's ancestors was a black whaler on a Portuguese whaling ship. I'm not sure how many years ago, but it was in this 19th or 18th century.
Thrasher?
Pardon?
Thrasher?
Thrasher.
Okay, well, look it up.
Anyway, I believe that if they have African ancestry, the Africans are known for having shamans, and just like the Inuit. The Inuit had shamans. That's spiritual world was their life.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, David, I believe, also did a workshop on the Ivory Coast. I can't remember exactly when, but I think he was in Africa doing a workshop.
Who?
Was David Rubin?
Oh, he might have been. When I carved with him, he was in South America for.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, he traveled. He went to Japan, I believe it was.
Right.
Very talented man.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay.
All right.
We are past 6 o'clock. I want to thank everybody for joining and sharing stories. It was great to do. This is a recording. There is a recording of this. I hope it's not a problem if we put that somewhere online. If somebody has really a problem with it, we should do something about it. But if nobody objects, I would love to share this with people.
I think there'll be people who really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gus, very much. And Ed and JP as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet everybody in the back row and front row, and stay in touch.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Till the
Thank
next.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, till the next time. Thank you.
Next time. Thank you.
Okay. Have a great day or evening or whatever.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.